Welcome, everyone, to the very first audio-only episode of the Sports Minorities podcast. This is really just a kind of a group of buddies getting together virtually and then just talking about sports, mostly football, and talking shit about each other's teams. I'm your host. I'm JC at Squint84 on Twitter. And joining me, we got...
Rob Jones, S.A. Rob, Rowdy Fighters on Trifecta, Laker fan, Bucks fan, Dodgers fan, you know, the champions. The champions. So. I see y'all.
And riding in the car with him right now is...
It's Chickenwing, Niners fan, Braves fan, Spurs fan, Hornets fan. Don't believe Rob. He is a Fayweather bandwagoner fan. The only reason why he calls himself Trifecta.
Hold up. I suffered through Kwame Brown. I suffered through Henry Winston. I don't hear nothing about Fayweather fan.
I guess.
As for me, I should have mentioned this off the top. I am a Titans fan, I am an Astros fan, a Spurs fan, and a Colorado Avalanche fan. And the other member of our group, Nori, actually, well, I think he fell asleep. Let me see if he's going to join. I think he forgot, but anyway. Let me see here. Hey, I think he's there.
Oh, he's alive.
Oh, all right, guys, be quiet. He's here.
Can't talk trash about it anymore.
Nori!
Did I miss something?
Dang it, it's recorded.
We just started, so go ahead and introduce yourself, my man.
Oh, okay. I'm on my phone. I'm Nori, and I am very confused. How's it going, everybody?
Nori's our New York hopeful. He loves everything New York.
Yep.
Unless it ends in Eds.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't associate with failure. Nothing with the that's behind it.
Wait, you're not a Mets fan? I always thought you were.
Yeah.
We're a Jets fan.
I'm not rooting for. I'm not rooting for a franchise that's so stupid they pay somebody for 50 years.
Well,
Whoops.
it keeps Bobby Bonilla from going into the poverty level, I guess you can say. So, you know. So what is our podcast about? Well, we like to talk a lot about football. We do a fun thing every football season where we're gonna pick other games every week of the regular season. Whoever has the best picks at the end of the year, we all basically pay him about $20. And this is kind of where it goes. Last year, our winner was Nori by one game over Rob. So
My luck.
Trash.
It was worth it. It's always better reminding Rob that he's always in second place.
Although Rob ended up kind of getting the last laugh because then his team goes on to win the Super Bowl. So, you know.
Yeah.
So what we're kind of going to do today is we're going to make some predictions on who we think is going to win the divisions this year, maybe who the wild card teams are going to be. Just kind of like a season preview, if you will. And from there, in a couple weeks, we'll start with our week one picks. It's going to be interesting because we're picking for 18 weeks this season versus the usual, 17 weeks that we're used to. So that's going to be a little different for us. So one more extra week of picks there. So let's start with the AFC. I'm the only guy with an AFC team as my team. But we're going to start with the AFC North. Just curious who you guys think is going to win that division. You can elaborate if you want. So anybody want to go first? Hit it.
So I'm going to go with the Browns. Given the coaching staff, the coaching improvements, and they're finally doing something right with their roster. I think they are the most consistent team in that division currently right now. And so I think they're going to edge out both Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But I'm not going to be surprised if all three of those teams, Cincinnati's a non-factor, but anyway, I'm not going to be surprised if all three of those teams end up in the playoffs this season.
With the third wild card, probably. That is a pretty strong division. Rob, who do you think is taking the AFC North?
Okay, so I'm picking the Ravens this year. I think the Steelers are too busy with TikTok.
And huge facts.
Like, I would love to go with Joe Burrow for coming back from that injury. I don't think he's going to be playing at 100%. So, yeah. And then the Browns are just the Browns. They'll find a way to... I think they'll be consistent and make it to the first round of the playoffs again. And just calm down again. I don't think they get past the first round of the playoffs.
All right. Nori, who do you think the AFC North is going to be?
The Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, I think that Mayfield's actually pretty good. I think they found a really, really good coach. The Ravens will definitely be in the playoffs too because they added wide receiver help for Jackson. But I think the Browns have everything they need. They drafted extremely well. I think they win the division, and I think the Steelers are very overrated.
I kind of agree with you on the Steelers being overrated. I'm so hesitant to pick Cleveland because I feel like every time everybody picks Cleveland, then they don't even make the playoffs. It's like a curse for the Browns or something like that. So, but I'm honestly back and forth between Cleveland and Baltimore, and I think I'm going to go with Baltimore this season, especially as the way they played late last season. So, should we go division by division, or you guys want to just go like conference? What do y'all think?
I think division by division would be better, right?
Okay, cool. AFC South. Mine's the obvious one. I'm picking Tennessee. I think we have enough weapons, and Houston is, good lord. I don't even know if they're going to have a quarterback to start the season.
Look, they beat Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care for preseason. All right, they beat Dallas. That's winning my point. Love you, baby. She's watching a movie. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Jacksonville and Indy could present problems. Jacksonville did officially announce Trevor Lawrence as a starting quarterback. But I think Tennessee finally has the team to get over the hump, if you will. Just enough weapons right now and short up enough on defense. So I'm going with the Titans. Nori, what about you on the South?
I think by default is the Titans because everybody else. I think everybody else is in transition. Like I don't think the Colts. You can't win a playoff or get to the wild card on a backup quarterback, and the Colts don't have a quarterback. Like Wentz isn't healthy. He has a lot to prove. I think they're a transition team. Let's see here. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle a lot. I think he was really at a great college program, and I hope he has a good career, but he's going to struggle. And Urban Meyer also has a lot to prove as an NFL coach because I don't see him making a transition easy. So, yeah, I think... And the Texans, like, I didn't even mention them. Like, why? Like, there's kind of, like, no point. They're just there to give wins and to get the number one pick. But, yeah, definitely the Titans run away with that division.
All right. Chickenwing, what about you?
It's obvious. It's the Titans by default. There are no other reasons why I should talk about any of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, except for Jacksonville. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have anything to prove. That's obviously the opposite. But it isn't like college coaches cannot transition. Other than that one coach we don't speak of, who coaches the Eagles and the Niners. Fuck that game. Okay? I'm going to say that right there.
I don't know. Pete Carroll's not doing too bad a job in Seattle. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Pete Carroll is one. Harbaugh is another one. So it isn't like it's impossible, but, you know, you got to start somewhere. And so I think as smart as Urban Meyer is, with the current roster he has, he's probably not going to get there just yet. But give him a few years, oh yeah, they're going to definitely give Tennessee a run for their money when it comes to fighting for that division. Hands down.
Okay. Rob, well, he dropped out of the voice call. He's there in the car with you, Chickenwing. So who is he picking?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's in a default to the Titans. I know he's having technical difficulties right now. Robbie, you picking Titans? Yeah, defaulted.
Yeah, default.
Oh, you found it?
Go to the Titans, same reason.
cite the same reasons. Got it.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. AFC East.
Although,
Wait.
we'll have the Colts in a close second because I believe they're running at their best team. He says Colts will be in a close second because he believes in their running game and passing game. So I will be Rob's translator.
Okay.
I'm just full of shit. He doesn't deserve a phone. That's why I died. So I'm sure.
Nori says he is shit. You don't deserve a phone.
This is gonna be interesting here.
Mike, kick him out. This is one chance. If he says something stupid like that again, make him walk the rest of the way.
Nori says, if you say something stupid like that again, you're walking the rest of the way. Okay.
All right, AFC East. Nori, I know this says one of the teams or two of the teams you love to hate in this division. So, who do you think is coming out of the East?
The Bills, but it's not going to be as runaway as people think. I think the Jets are significantly better than what they're getting credit for, and I hate saying that because everything with an Ets is usually associated with with comedy. But the Jets made some really, really good pickups, drafted extremely well. They made a really good trade too. I think they took a linebacker from Cincinnati who was like absolutely just mowing people down. They're going to get better. The Bills, I think win it. I don't think it's by a lot. The Patriots did good with shitty Cam Newton and not a lot of talent, and the Patriots went uncharacteristically in free agency pretty hard. And I think Mac Jones is going to be a star. So to get in, falling all the way to 15, I think when they grabbed him, it was pretty insane. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. So they got good value to that, and Miami's coming up. So we'll definitely be watching that division a lot, but I think the Bills are going to come out hungry again.
I like Buffalo too. I feel like the Jets and the Dolphins and even the Patriots are just 2 years away from really contending for that division. You mentioned Mac Jones, but yeah, I think Buffalo has it this year. Chickenwing, what about you and Rob?
Maybe they're somewhere where they have a shitty phone signal.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back to him on it. So, AFC West, Nori, who you got?
Kansas City by 8,000 miles. Yeah.
What? Denver's not going to make waves with Terry Bridgewater as starting quarterback?
I do think Denver is better because their rookies apparently are playing phenomenal. That other wide receiver they drafted last year, I forget his name, of course, it's something with a J. I don't have the name in front of me, but he's been playing awesome too. I think Denver's going to surprise people. I hope Locke has a wake-up call and he actually plays better. But I think Bridgewater, when he has a healthy roster, because the Panthers roster last year was pretty garbage, minus CMC, I think they could do okay. But the Raiders, you never know what's going on with them. They'll be good, they're not good. But Kansas City got to the Super Bowl with a pretty average offensive line. Now they beefed it up and they're going right back.
Denver I think is going to make some waves. I don't know if they're going to keep up this offense once they get into the regular season, but I think they're going to give KC a run for their money, but I still got to go with KC right now as long as they have Patrick Mahomes and they didn't lose a whole lot this past offseason. So, no, they dropped. I guess they're all... Oh, here we go. Chickenwing, you there?
I am back. I hit a dead spot.
Okay, we
That's
figured. Well, I need yours and Rob's picks for the AFC East and the AFC West.
Okay. For the East. That's a tough one. I still believe the Bills are going to take that one. I think the Patriots will take that over Miami in the second place spot and maybe fighting for the last wild card spot. I am not confident.
You guys sound like shit, by the way. Sound like absolute fucking shit. Just so you know.
Yeah, Chickenwing and Rob are on the road right now to Fort Worth. They're attending some events.
Coordinator, very smart man. You got me. I'm back.
You're back now, but we cut off we missed the last 20 seconds. So.
Oh, okay. So basically, what I was saying is I believe the Bills are going to take it. I think the Pats are going to edge out Miami. as far as second place, but then Nori brought up a good point. The Jets, with their new head coach, will be an X factor in that division. As far as the West is concerned, it's obviously Kansas City, and nobody else is a factor. I'm sorry, not a factor enough to be in the playoffs.
I assume Rob is making the same predictions on those two divisions.
I don't know. I'm about to ask him right now.
Okay.
Hey, Rob, what's yours on the East and West?
Bills the East, and
Bills in the East.
I really don't see Mac Jones, the Patriots, being like a big factor.
He doesn't believe in Mac Jones yet.
I don't.
He don't.
Racist.
Dang.
Just a racist.
I don't think being not able to run is going to help him. Like, he is the typical pocket chapter.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
You know, like, in a league full of mobile quarterbacks, like, you look at Baltimore, you look at KC,
Yeah.
he's not that prone to threat TV. Like, yeah, he's a solid pocket passer, but
So Rob is basically saying he doesn't believe in Pat because Mac Jones is basically the next Peyton, a pocket passer in a league full of mobile quarterbacks. That's not going to work well in this league. That's probably going to hurt them more than help.
Hey, Chickenwing, can you ask Rob how he feels about Tom Brady's mobility?
he's hurt.
Oh wow, that's a okay. So the West he said obviously KC, and then Rob Nori asked, how do you feel about Tom Brady's mobility?
Already got the one championship that I wanted.
Yeah, Rob said he doesn't care. He got the championship he needed. So go fuck yourself.
Exactly. So mobility is a factor. It's not that important. And I think Belichick is going to put a lot of good surrounding pieces and a really sick defense around Mac Jones to hide all his weaknesses.
He's already done it with Brady. I mean,
my God.
Brady wasn't the most mobile.
Rob said in the last 20 years he's got one more championship than the Cowboys, so it doesn't matter.
No, Rob, everybody does. That's not the point.
Oh man.
So, and then the West was obvious at KC.
Yeah.
Yeah, KC.
There's no other factor. I think the East is too strong of a division. The East and the North are too strong of a division for the South and West to even be considered a factor outside of the division.
Well, we'll see how the schedule plays out, man. Because let me see.
Your schedule.
Well, we'll see. I know Tennessee's playing the. We're playing the AFC East on our interconference schedule. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Wild card spots in the AFC. Nori, what are your three teams there?
The Ravens, the Patriots, and Miami.
Ooh, interesting.
Wow. He's a believer in Miami.
Chickenwing?
I am the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Patriots.
All right, Rob?
Rob, what are your wild card spots for the AFC?
The Browns, the Colts.
Browns, Colts,
Patriots.
and Patriots.
Okay.
The non-believer will get number 7. And beat out Miami. There you go, Rob. Yes.
I'm going to say the Browns, the Broncos, and Miami. Maybe a shot in the dark with Denver, but I mean, I was saying when I was talking about the West, I think if they keep this offense going, they got a lot of young talent, and they might give KC a run for the money. And if they don't get the division, they'll at least fall to a wild card. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually do have a. So before we go to the East, I actually do have a legitimate question.
What's that?
Do you think Seattle wasted an opportunity for Russell to thrive?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't feel like they did enough this offseason to put talent around him. You know?
Yeah, because a lot of teams got better, and Seattle is going to be good, but I think they'll be like. And as much as I really am a big fan of Seattle and Russell Westbrook, I think they'll be out in the second round again.
Do you think they would even get to the second round, though? I mean,
I think they will.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. So let me rephrase the question because that's still a good answer. But let me rephrase the question. So what I mean by that question is when they had an opportunity to trade, rebuild, so that way he could go to a team.
Hold on. You sound like you're coming in from the future. Hold on. The last thing we heard was trade Russell Wilson.
Try again.
Okay.
Ask your question again.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So what I mean by that question is when they had opportunities to trade Russell to other teams where he could potentially win a Super Bowl, did they waste that opportunity because of Pete Carroll's selfishness?
No, I don't agree with, because Seattle can still win with certain pieces because they're not ready to blow that team up. Seattle's not bad. They just, Russell clearly got pissed. They lost in the first round, which has never happened in his career. But that's more of privilege than it is being a bad team. That's pretty consistent, that they're a consistently strong team.
They just didn't surround him with any talent going into the season.
They should have did more for him, yeah.
Yeah.
They're good, but they're not great.
It's showing in the preseason right now. I mean, obviously, preseason's the preseason. It's only 3 games this year, but, we'll see when the regular season starts. But he's in a tough division, and for them
it's the toughest division of football.
Yeah, for them to not put anything around him, he could potentially finish last in this division because it seems like every other team in that division got better, and they stayed the same.
Seattle's depending on their healthy running backs. They're depending on Penny to be much healthier. They're depending on Metcalf to be godlike again. Mm-hmm. They should have did more to improve their defensive line, and they still have a solid defense.
Yeah. Well, let's start with that division as it is, the NFC West. Chickenwing, you can pick this one first because you got your team there.
That's obvious. I'm a homer. The Niners. I think it's going to be between the Niners and the Cardinals fighting for top of that division. I don't believe the Rams are going to be. I'm not going to say that they're not going to be a factor. I just don't see them taking first that division. As tough as it is already.
Who does Rob have at the NFC West?
Rob, who do you have in the West? Yeah. I'll be that guy. I'm going to take the Rams.
The Rams? Ooh.
Oh, my God. Yeah, JC already did. The Rams, LA. Yeah.
I'm just waiting to hear if Chickenwing pulls the car over and kicks him out of the car. I'm just waiting to hear the tire screech.
It was kind of a pretty big lane I could just pull over.
Nori, who you got at the NFC West?
This is the absolute, I don't care what anybody says, this is the hardest one to pick in all of the divisions.
Yeah.
But I'm barely going to pick the Cardinals. Their biggest problem last year was defense. They've addressed that greatly. They drafted really well. Murray is not a rookie anymore. Kingsbury understands the NFL now, and I think they come out hot. The Rams, I'm between them and the Rams, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals because if Stafford is healthy and plays half of as good as it did in Detroit, then they have a potential Super Bowl team. But the Niners, I don't think they did enough to address the cornerback position when Sherman left. I would have liked to see them do more. I'm kind of surprised they didn't.
I can answer to that. It's the cap that we were running against.
Well, with all those counts of assault and battery, they should get them at a discount now. Call them.
Wow.
First of all, I'm not Dallas. Okay, I don't have all that problems going on. All right.
I'm just saying that that division is extremely hard. I won't be surprised who wins that division at all. But the 49ers, a lot of it will depend on Trey Lance because I don't think Garoppolo is going to be healthy because the poor guy is just not healthy.
Guy can't stay healthy. I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think if Trey Lance is really good, obviously, then they might be the best team in the division. But a lot of it depends on Stafford and Lance how that division goes. But the Cardinals, again, DeAndre Hopkins, and AJ Green from the Cincy apparently is lighting it up in training camp and preseason for the Cardinals. So if he's again half of as good as the Bengals, I see them in that division. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I honestly think it's going to come between the Niners, not because I'm a homer, because our defense is significantly better than LA's defense, and I think that's going to be the biggest factor for us keeping up with Arizona. Because Arizona offense, if Kyler is hot, bro, y'all seen the damage that boy can do, hands down. And our biggest problem is the quarterback and our left side of the O-line. That's our biggest problem right now. Defense, we addressed a lot of the issues. You're right. Secondary is going to need a little bit more help than I would admit to. I will want to admit to. But
your defense is just unknown. I don't know if it's good or bad because when you lose a coordinator, it's big. So it's just nobody knows how good your defense is going to be, if it's changed, if it's the same. You know, who the next coordinator, are they going to adjust on the fly like Robert Saleh did? There's a lot of unknowns with the 49ers for me right now to pick. Yeah, they're going to win the division. Like, I don't know.
Well, you know, and for some of that I can answer to because DeMarco Ryans was basically shadowing Robert South. So he already knows the mindset of how that works already. So for him to be moving up instead of the outside, you know, and for me, you know, I would probably prefer like, you know, Tom Coughlin, you know, Wade Phillips, you know, somebody with a defensive mind like that. Definitely, I would love to go for it. But because of the fact we kept most of our pieces, Ina Sherman, and we hired up internally, I'm very confident that our defense is going to handle what we need to handle. My biggest concern is actually our offense because it has been flat. Remember 2 years ago, it wasn't until we got Emmanuel Sanders. And then once we got him, we started winning games, right? Yeah. That's what my defense.
Yeah, and your offense is going to be even more concerned against Arizona because they added J.J. Watt on the defensive side. So now you got to deal with that pass rush. So, like Nori, I am picking Arizona to win that division. They have enough talent, they have enough experience to win a very tough division like that and make a deep playoff run. So, yep.
Very deep.
We'll shift across the country, the NFC East. Nori, who you got winning your division, buddy?
So we go from the best division in football to the worst division in football.
Yeah, perfectly balanced as all things should
I
be.
hope it's not that way again because I feel like the AFC South next year has the potential to be the new NFC East. But honestly, the NFC East was so bad last year, a team that didn't even have a name won the division. So that sucked. The Giants, I feel can win the division. I think they'll be the best one. Even if I'm not being a homer, if you just actually look at all the people they added, and their offensive line did play better towards the end of the year, I think they win the division not by a lot. Dallas, I don't know how healthy Dak is. Their defense is like, their defense is like being under a cardboard box in a tornado. So I don't quite know what they're going to do with the 29th ranked defense. And, Dallas will be Dallas. Philly, I think, is going to have a lot of growing pains still under a new coach. I don't believe in Jalen Hurts at all. And Washington, I think, is the only real threat because Fitzpatrick is pretty good. If you just don't tell him he's the starter, he actually is really, really good. But yeah, I mean, you don't even have to do a lot.
That's true.
Yep. You don't have to do a lot in the NFC East either. You just have to beat other shitty teams. So if we could be the least shitty team, then we have a shot. And I'm going to go with the Giants.
I'm going with Washington. I'm sticking with who won the division. It's probably going to come down to Washington and the Giants, like you said. Dallas, if Dak is healthy, are in the running. But it is odd to me how they have held him out of practices, how they're kind of quiet about a apparent shoulder injury that he has. They're bringing in a trainer from the Rangers, I think, to look at it. So I don't know. I can't get a read on what Dallas is doing, and but I'm gonna stick with Washington mainly because they won last year, and I want to think that everyone in that division improved, but I don't know. We're really gonna find out when they start lacing them up in the regular season. So. Now, Chickenwing, of course, is riding in a car, sitting next to his wife, who is a Cowboys fan. So, Chickenwing, who are you picking to win this division?
Well, she can't hear me. She has her Bluetooth headphones on, so fuck Dallas. I love you. Oh my god, you're flipping me off. You're my everything. She's gonna show me. Anyway, so I was sleeping on the floor tonight, apparently, guys. So
Right.
I apologize. So, in all honesty, yes, I think the Eagles are going to be the X factor, like what Nori said. A lot of growing pains, new coaching staff, or something. Jalen Hurts, he's not the truth, but he's no Jamarcus Russell either. Anyway, so I believe it's going to be Washington football team, only because out of all the bad teams, they're the most complete bad team. I believe in Heineke. He is the truth. He will be the new shining star of that team. Riverboat Ron is a great coach, hands down. Consistent coach. Fitzmagic. Just don't tell me it's a starter. Now, here's the problem with my pick. First of all, New York ain't going to do nothing but nobody. Top down with that. But if Dallas, if Dak actually stays healthy all season, their offense is a threat.
Right.
That's the part I don't like about Dallas. Their offense is a legitimate, actual threat. Now, with their defense being the 37th ranked defense in the NFL, I said it. That's going to keep them out of the top spot in the East. That's just how it is. The draft and the free agency, I don't see them fixing holes, glaring holes that they needed to fix, especially in the front four. And the linebackers also. Secondary is fine. Secondary is actually that's it. But I think overall it's going to be. Rob is probably going to go with what you think? We'll go with the Giants. Oh my God!
What?
I'll pull over this car right now. No,
Preach the
I'll pull it
gospel.
over.
Preach the gospel, Rob.
No,
Preach it.
no, I urge you to. He said, "Preach the gospel."
Only the Giants, only because if their line holds up, they do have a solid offense.
It's true.
Thank you.
And there's a second-year defense already proved themselves last year of being a decent defense.
No, you're right about that. I'm sorry, Nori.
And we added to the 9th overall defense. But go off, King.
And last year they were one tank job away from the playoffs, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it's ultimately
Yes.
winning that
Actually, you are right. I'm sorry for being disrespectful, Nori. Giants
No, but
defense.
Rob is right. Rob is my reservation is the offensive line. But if the defensive line holds up, we have a very, very underrated team. But if it doesn't, if it's Swiss cheese again, and Daniel Jones is playing bad, it doesn't matter how many offensive weapons we have. The idea is that the offensive line doesn't have to play as good because we'll have a running back this year, which would be cool.
Yes.
We have a very underrated pickup in Devontae Booker from Oakland, where he was the backup for Josh Jacobs last year, and he quietly had a really good season with very little touches. In the preseason, this guy, Devontae Booker, scored for us again. So he'll quietly back up Saquon. And then with Galladay, with Kyle Rudolph, we have a lot of offensive weapons to get the ball out really, really quick. So you can't just, stack the line and,
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited about the Giants this year.
Rob said, "Watch us all be wrong with the
Yeah, then I'll stop watching football.
Nori said, he'll stop watching football. Man.
All right, well, Rob, you're picking the NFC South winner first, so go ahead and knock it out, man.
Let's see who he picks.
He's obviously going to pick the Bucks.
Yeah.
Next. Okay, cool.
Is anybody here not picking the Bucks to win that division, I should say?
No.
Really? You know what? Wow. Okay, so the second place team is the Saints.
I think the Saints will be dead last in the division.
Ooh, interesting.
The Saints barely have a quarterback. They don't have a wide receiver who wants to play with them. They have Kamara, who's going to have the poor guy do everything. There's dysfunction of the team already. No. They're going to be dead last.
Correct, yeah.
All right.
Rob still believes in the fact that they have Taysom Hill, who's not going to quarterback, and Winston, and Kamara have to prove himself. Outside of that, he doesn't believe in the other two teams.
I think Falcons got a lot better. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they got a lot better. There won't be an easy out, and Kyle Pitts is going to be awesome.
Yep.
Nori believes the Falcons. He thinks Kyle Pitts is going to be the truth of that team.
I think they'll be better than the damn Saints.
I was like, okay, stupid.
James Winston. All right, well, me and Rob will be betting on those games then. That's fine.
Yeah, definitely. I got to see that. So Nori thinks that the Saints are going to be last in that division.
All right.
Rob said, everybody's tied to their stupid team. I'm sorry, go ahead.
NFC North. AKA Aaron Rodgers' last hurrah with Green Bay.
I was just say he has one more year in that division left before he's traded, or just winds his way out. So I mean, is anybody not picking Green Bay?
No, Rob, you're picking Green Bay, right? By default.
I know I am. I don't think any of the other teams surrounding him are.
The Bears, Rob.
Just to challenge with him, really. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, he's saying the Vikings will be the legitimate threat of the North,
but not win the division. You think it's still going to be Green Bay, right?
No, he's like, maybe the Vikings over Aaron.
Like, I don't know if the entire Packers organization as a whole is okay. It's all green.
Games ahead. He doesn't believe the organization as a whole could be cohesive enough to run away with that division, especially with the current talent on Minnesota. So
okay.
He's
Good point, Chickenwing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry.
Good call.
Love that web interference we're getting. So,
Mike, you're breaking up bad.
So,
yeah.
I'm hitting dead spots. I'm right out. Good. I'm about 30 miles outside of Waco, so it'll clear.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna edit the podcast where you never said anything anymore.
Yeah. Waco, Fort Worth. We're about 30 minutes outside of Fort Worth. So.
All right. Well, Chickenwing, you're going Green Bay, and is Rob going Green Bay or Minnesota?
He's going Green Bay, but he's not going to be surprised if Minnesota steals it.
Okay. So we're all going Green Bay then. So, all right. Nori, who are your three NFC wildcard teams?
The NFC West.
Oh, so then in your case, it would be San Fran, Seattle, and LA.
Yeah, that division is absolutely insane. They're talented in most of the NFC. The rest of the divisions compared to them are a joke. So, yeah. Like you could legit actually think of anybody in the NFC West actually making a Super Bowl run. So yeah, that whole division goes to the playoffs.
And that could happen. A team can finish last in their division and still make the playoffs. And this would be the very first time in NFL history I think that would happen.
Yeah.
So with the 3 wild card. And I'm looking at the other divisions. I'm trying to see, okay, is there anybody that could take a last wild card spot?
Yeah, take in your mind who you think the worst NFC West team is and stack them up against all the other divisions. Take out the division winners, and they'll smack them around.
Yeah. Maybe Atlanta, maybe Minnesota, but yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. I'll go Niners, Rams, and Seahawks there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, you got a tough division, so.
Their worst teams would probably win other NFC divisions.
Yeah.
This division is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a good and bad time to be in that division. You're right.
So who you got then on your wild card, Chickenwing?
I'm actually going to ask Rob first. Rob,
okay.
Who do you think the wild cards would be for the NFC? Oh. He was like, oh. Oh, shit. I think 3. Yeah, that's the tough part. You got to pick 3.
Okay, since I already said, I said Minnesota would take North, so I'm going to say Green Bay.
Okay. Green Bay's going to be the wild card. Oh, no, I'm sorry, no. I was off. Rob said Minnesota is taking the North.
Oh, he's in Minnesota taking the North. Okay.
My God, Rob needs to go tonight. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with him?
Oh, okay. Rob says, got to reach for something. Okay, so it's a reach pick.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, so since I said that earlier, it's going to be Green Bay. Green Bay. I think Washington comes out of the East. As a wild card? As a wild card. Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Oh, he's taking oh, okay. So he's taking New York as the winner, Washington as the wild card.
Okay.
Shit, bro. And so well, Nori's laughing at you, bro. So yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
It's to be New York at 9-8. New York at 9-8. Okay. And it's going to be Washington at 9-8, and New York's going to have a tiebreaker. Washington's also going to be at 98, but New York's going to have the tiebreaker. That's why he's saying.
Hold on, I have a question
Okay.
for Rob.
Oh yeah. I
Hold
think I have the same question as Nori, but go ahead,
I got
Nori.
two questions here. One, he picked the Vikings to win the NFC North, but which NFC West? Hold on, which NFC West team? Name one of them that the Vikings are better than.
49ers taking other wild card spot out of them. Okay, and then he says the Niners are taking the last wild card spot.
So you have Arizona missing the playoffs.
Cardinals are out. He says Arizona's going to be out, bro.
Wow.
Cardinals are out. Seattle's going to be Seattle's going to be last in this career right now.
So you think Arizona's going to go worse than 9-8?
Okay, so what the guys are asking you, do you think Arizona's going to go worse than 9-8 season? Or is it because of a tiebreaker? It's going to come down to a tiebreaker, I think. I think they go 9-8. I think they're going to lose to the division leaders, and they're going to be some really close interconference interconference. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Rob, there's just going to be those toss-up games where whoever really wanted it is going to take it. Okay, so my question, JC, 'cause I think I know what Rob is saying. So my question is this, JC. Which division is the NFC East playing in the NFC?
Let me see here.
The NFC East has a hard schedule. That's why I can't see Washington getting in.
They're playing. Let me see.
Because we already played it last season.
The NFC East is playing the NFC South.
Okay, that's why he's saying it. Okay. So Rob is saying this, that because of the harder schedule that the NFC West is gonna have, because obviously Arizona has to play us twice anyway, all the teams in the West.
The West is playing the NFC North. He does realize that, right?
I don't know if he realizes that. But
And the AFC South.
Washington has the Chiefs also. Like the NFC East has a hard schedule. Like Washington's going to get smacked around by almost everybody.
Oh, probably. So the East is playing the South, yeah, but the West is playing the North. Oh, there you go. See, so it's AFC North. Yeah, still very solid. No, NFC North.
NFC North.
Yeah. So
No. AFC North exactly. So Washington and the Giants and the Cowboys all have extremely hard schedules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he believes that Washington, because of their schedule versus Arizona's schedule, that they're going to edge him out. Because remember that in the tiebreaker, Nori, it's interconference first. It's inside the NFC, and so he's saying that they're going to pull out more wins than Arizona is in their own conference. That's how they're going to win the tiebreaker.
Wow.
The Cardinals have the Panthers, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Vikings. Like, how dare him? How dare him say this? The Lions, the Cowboys. What is it? What? I can't even talk.
Has Rob been drinking on the drive? Because I know he's not driving. I'm just curious.
Tell him to look at the Cardinals schedule and the Washington schedule, and then talk to me.
All right.
He's actually questioning you, wondering, do you watch football? And I quit sports after last year.
I see that. We see that. We see that.
So I guess it's my turn to make my pick.
Yeah, you pick your wild card picks here.
For God, you say some dumb shit, I'm booting you from the server, Mike. I had enough of this. I had enough of the madness going on in that car. Had it.
So, okay. I mean, yeah, these are all way too early picks, obviously. So, obviously, I'm going to, I say that my team. Obviously, whoever loses between the Niners and Cardinals is going to win. So, Cardinals will be the first team there. Second team, I believe LA will be that second team. For sure. Be there. And now that I'm thinking about it, given both of y'all's explanations and logic, I don't see Seattle being the third team. I think they'll be last in our division.
Mm-hmm.
I think, given both the explanations, I think New York will be that sleeper. The Giants will be that sleeper at 17. Because I'm thinking Washington for that division.
Right. Interesting picks, guys, for the prediction for the division winners. So, wow, surprising.
Seattle has an easier schedule than the Giants.
So I got to play the games, I guess, right? So
realistically speaking, but Seattle doesn't have an O-line.
Yeah. We did kind of say from the top, Seattle hasn't really improved, but
I mean,
we'll see.
I mean, do you see Russell's calves, bro? That man's run so much, bro. Calves to steal. Man.
I think if other teams had easier schedules, I would maybe sort of agree with you guys. And I know the NFC West is going to beat up each other, but also Seattle has the Jaguars. They have Washington. They have the Bears. They have the Texans. So the fact that the NFC West gets to, fatten up on the AFC South minus the Titans is like their only respectable matchup there. I don't know. The Bears are gonna get pooed on for sure.
I didn't say they're going to win all the games. I'm just saying they're the X factor in that division because of the unknowns. They have so many unknowns. They drafted pretty well. Let's be honest. They drafted. Yeah. They had such pretty well.
They did.
So I'm not writing off the Bears as
but I think they'll get swept by the NFC West, though. The Bears, absolutely. I think they'll get swept by them.
I mean, if Fields is starting,
we'll
see. No, let me back up. If Dalton is starting, yes, they're going to get swept. Absolutely, 100%. If Fields plays, sure, I'll give them a fighting chance because their defense isn't bad at all.
Well, I think they already announced Dalton as the starter, right? So.
Okay, well,
we'll
if we
see
get Bears
that lasts.
4 weeks, that's one for us.
I will be very surprised if the whole NFC West is not in the playoffs. So that's me, based on schedule, based on everything.
I mean, because me and JC looked at that. I had that burning question. I was just talking to him one day, and statistically, it's possible, but that's extremely hard to pull off.
They're just better than all the teams you guys are naming. They're better than the Vikings. Mm-hmm. They're arguably better than Green Bay. All these teams could be. Remember, Green Bay gets to fatten up on their own shitty division. They don't have a hard schedule. Like Green Bay is good, but I don't think they're better.
Maybe the only team that could struggle against any other team would be Seattle right now. Seattle, I'm not sold on.
We're saying, statistically speaking, versus the schedules, that's hard for our entire division to be there. Because if we're going to beat each other up, that's losses against us when it comes to tiebreakers.
So when you look at the Seattle schedule, look at all the teams that are not their division, and you're going to laugh. That's all I'm saying. They have very few respectable matchups outside of their own division.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are our division and wildcard picks for the season. In a couple of weeks, we're going to get back together. Probably a little better audio. Nobody should be in a car at that point. And make our week 1 picks as we begin our season-long pick competition, if you will. So, and next week, we're all in a fantasy football league. Might be streaming that on our YouTube channel. Just check that out on YouTube. Sports Minorities. You can search for that on YouTube. Our Twitter at SportsMinorPod, and then we're also on Facebook. Just search Sports Minorities as well. Appreciate you for listening to the very first episode of the Sports Minorities podcast. We'll be back on here in a couple weeks. Get us wherever you look for your podcast as well. I'm JC. Joining me, we'll go kind of around the room. We had Nori.
I am the Nori, and I will win again for predictions.
We had in the car, we had Chickenwing.
I'm rolling my eyes to the back of my head. You're not
Scrub. What a scrub.
And then we got Rob.
The Vikings winning the NFC North. Stupid bitch.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys next time. See you. Thanks everyone once again for listening to the Sports Minorities Podcast. We do appreciate it. If you want to keep the conversation going, we're on Twitter at Sports Minor Pod and also on Facebook at Sports Minorities. Our YouTube channel, Sports Minorities. Search on there. We live stream every now and then, just some random stuff. And you can also reach us via email, sports.minorities@gmail.com. We do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to us, and we'll catch y'all next time.